Hello and good day, meteorologist Mike Adcock with an update on Tropical Storm Jangmi, locally known as Seniang, positioned between Mindanao and the Visayan Islands. This briefing is based on the 9 Zulu Japan Meteorological Agency advisory from the 29th of December. Take a look at satellite imagery. The deep convection associated with this system waning quite a bit, so we're not seeing the intense thunderstorms and rain that we saw yesterday. That being said, still a significant amount of rain. This is turning into a long duration event, so still the flooding concerns, still the mudslides that we've been seeing for the past day or so. On Dvorak, convection is wrapping around 5/10, so that supports a T2.5. This is in line with the JMA advisory as a tropical storm. At 5 p.m., the center was estimated about 35 kilometers east-northeast of Membaho, or 130 kilometers east-southeast of Tacloban City. It is moving to the west-northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Wind steady at 65 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 95, and pressure at 998 hectopascal. This may be a tad on the high side, probably more like 996 based on surface observations. Pagasa does have public storm warning signals in effect. Highlighted in orange is signal 2. That includes northern Mindanao, central Visayas, as well as Negros Occidental. Highlighted in yellow is signal 1. You can still see moderate to heavy rainfall with rates up to 15 millimeters per hour. This is going to continue to aid in flooding in the low-lying areas as well as mudslides in the mountainous regions. And as we look at Pagasa's radar, we see, again, not the significant intense thunderstorms, but steady, long-duration rain that extends all the way from Mindanao through the Visayas and into the Bicol region. This is going to slowly make its way westward about 15 kilometers per hour. So, again, steady rains that's going to accumulate. So locations there in and around rivers, around the shores, as well as the mountainous regions, you're going to be under the greatest threat. For the long-term outlook, what we're looking at is this area of high pressure that's keeping skies clear over eastern China. That's ridging into the South China Sea, so that's going to keep this system southerly and may even avoid Vietnam a little bit later on in the forecast period. Here's the 6Z analysis from JMA. You can see that ridging extending into the South China Sea, so that is helping to reduce the threat for Vietnam. Unfortunately, that points this storm system toward Malaysia, where they've been seeing significant amounts of rain. Looking over toward JMA, JMA continues to take this off toward the west-southwest after passing just south of Negros and Palawan. Now, the bottom line here is it does take it toward western Malaysia, where they have been receiving a lot of rainfall. Now, I do want to focus, or do want to point your attention not to focus so much on this dotted line. This isn't a strong typhoon, so we're not particularly worried about a strong core of winds near the center, but rather the rainfall that does extend out into the periphery of this system. Now, taking a look at Pagasa's track, a little bit further northward, but again, general idea, west-southwesterly motion after it makes landfall there in Dumaguete and the southern edge of Palawan. JTWC, very similar scenario. Again, this emphasizes a southerly track, avoiding Vietnam and increasing the threat toward western Malaysia and South Thailand. And this is pretty much the story across all the agencies as it does get into the South China Sea. A little bit of variance, but again, the bottom line is the southerly track that avoids Vietnam and threatens Malaysia. Now, as we look toward the long-range forecast, this is the GFS accumulated precipitation. Still seeing 150 millimeters of rain affecting the Visayas, southern Luzon, as well as Palawan. And before the system even gets out to Malaysia, you're going to see continued heavy rains, 200, maybe even in some locations up to 300 millimeters of rainfall. So this is going to be a significant concern for them. Now, on the topic of precipitation, this is the measured rainfall between 8 a.m. Saturday Philippines time through Monday at 2 p.m. Significant rainfall in the eastern portions of the country, 504 millimeters there in Surigao del Sur. in the northern tip in and around Seniang City up through eastern Samar, you're seeing rainfall totals of over 200 millimeters. For those that aren't familiar with the metric system, 500 millimeters, that's almost 20 inches of rain. And then for these other 8 locations that are about 220, that's going to get you about 8.5 to 9 inches of rain. So significant amount of rain affecting these locations. Looking at the latest weather observations, the rain continues, still seeing that all the way from Mindanao through Bicol and out toward Negros. Let's go ahead, focus our attention here toward Seniang City, where they did pick up about 220 millimeters of rain. That heavy rain is continuing there. That's reducing your visibility down to 4 kilometers. I did mention the central pressure with this system, and that's based off of this observation, 998.4 hectopascal. Given that it is a ways from the center, I do anticipate that the central pressure is probably a little lower, closer to 996. Keep it tuned over at westernpacificweather.com. We're going to continue to monitor the progress of this storm. We'll also be posting to the various social media sites there below. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.